When I met 73-year-old Alhassan Ashok in his home on the dangerous Wager Cliff in October, he was not sure the election would happen. For a man who has voted in every election since 1992, Alhassan knows all too well politicians will go any length to win power.
Said the Mamma Peno. So, over 27 years now.
All the politicians are the same. They all promise us heaven on earth, yet they don't deliver. They failed us for 27 years.
Obama, yes, I could The
73-year-old had fears.
Young people for boys, Zongo, no. Obi wa command 50 Ghana. Wow. Wakochui wa me. One watching to pay belly today or China no at Nago.
The youth are enticed with money, especially in the Zongo communities, and when they are high on drugs, they foment trouble.
The Obabano so on so sabu at the said their one din, Omunina Yabako. Uko won so Omunina Kabomutin or the D in Numusa. Now, young we were Bonteno. We say me don APP, we say me don PNC. Na hey no moku.
But his fears were confirmed after a grueling electioneering recorded ugly scenes in some constituencies. In the Ablekuma Central constituency here in Accra, chaos broke out during collation. One person would later die in hospital a week after the incident. 26-year-old Arafat Kabiru has been narrating to us what happened from his hospital bed.
I was standing at some place, I was talking to someone. Suddenly, a soldier man just came. There is no fire, there is nothing. Started giving one shot. People was like, we are not, as in, no any riot or something that will make you fire a one shot. So it was like, first, second, it was like, you people won't go back. The third one, he didn't raise the gun up. He faced it to us. So when he shot the gun, he hit the one that they said is dead, He first hit him, and it came out and came and hit me at my hips and came out from here.
I was spot on the pulse. We should have done that about a few minutes.
Rashid Imoru, also an NDC party agent, is on admission at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. He says he was shot in the thigh by one Kola, a known aide to an NPP official.
I've seen our incumbent MP pointing the boy and then pointing at me. He was pointing at me, so I couldn't run. So the best thing, I have to come closer to the guy, because if I'm to run, he'll shoot and kill me. So when I came closer, so he choked me, and then the gun is on my leg. They shot my leg and shot. He was just firing the gun, now no any control. So one of my brother rushed to me and asked me, then I said, he hit me. So I removed my trousers and seen that it's true, it has hit me on my leg. So I've put in my trouser back again, because while he was firing, everybody is afraid.
Rashid and Arafat are lucky to be alive to at least tell their story. Their road to recovery will be less painful if the culprit who shot at them is brought to book. Pius Esiedwe, a journalist covering the elections for Accra-based Adom TV, also sustained gunshot wounds requiring surgery in hospital. In the Ododo-Diodio constituency, 2 people were killed in a fracas between supporters of the NDC and NPP shortly after polls closed. The incumbent MP and eventual winner of a parliamentary seat Neil Lante Vanderpoy was arrested for what police said at the time was his involvement in the violent clashes.
Sitting MP, Ghanaians, we are all Ghanaians. Ghana doesn't belong to NPP. You understand? Sitting MP, you are arrested for what reason?
He would later be released hours after interrogation at the Accra Central Police Station.
Able to secure bail for him, he's at home resting.
Any more details of this bail conditions and what exactly was he arrested for? What are the charges? What exactly has been happening?
There were no conditions to the bail. I mean, he was just released. He's the sitting MP. He can always be found if they need him to answer any questions. So they just granted him a self-recognizance bail.
In Techima in the Bono East region, 18-year-old Abdallah Ayarik was shot and killed during collation of votes in the Techima South constituency. Family of the deceased are still grieving their loss. An emotional mother, Victoria Mensah, gathers strength to speak to us.
My son was industrious. He had passed out from apprenticeship, and just before I could reap from my labor, he's killed this way. I want justice. Government must probe this painful killing.
Yes, I for who be a mebano. Nimbone away, nipa ye two mebano so sa, or the woman to the canon. Sarah Bain said, Onye no man no cribia neddy.
In all, 6 people died in electoral violence across the country, and several others remain in hospital. Despite these, election observers say the election was generally smooth and transparent. For international observer groups like the European Union Election Observer Mission, the EC put in place robust transparency measures for the counting of votes. But collation process was less well organized and less transparent, often due to a lack of detailed procedures, inadequate facilities, and overcrowding, which at times led to agents and observers not having a clear view of the processes and the filling in of result forms. The security agencies have been patting themselves on the back for supervising a successful exercise.
"39-year-old Christian Nutekpo was arrested in some parts of the Bono East region for snatching a ballot box during the just ended 2020 elections. He has since been sentenced to 3 months in jail and also been fined 3,600 cedis. Also has been banned from participating in any elections in the country for the next 5 years. That was just one of the instances of voter irregularities that characterized the just ended 2020 elections.
Let me say, yeah, now ballot boxes. They are small will enjoy our office. We are about to then you say punches.
For many critics, the pockets of skirmishes have marred an otherwise smooth electioneering period, characterized by decent political party campaigning.
Free SHS, and we realized that if we didn't build the infrastructure quickly, we were going to have the problems that we are seeing today. So we said, let's build 200 new community day schools.
Yera Mahama on the Namomemo Noka, Yoba Obeye, or the Atrosufum, or say SHS no, or no, and or J. Hudeba first. Hey! SHS and Yasa Baba Magama. And you know.
And a relatively orderly voting process on December 7 is all forgotten. Not many would care about how Ghanaians defy the odds in extraordinary circumstances of a beastly pandemic to successfully hold its general elections. The Electoral Commission's openness to the public and the seemingly improved relationship with the media throughout the period would also remain in the shadows.
A tempestuous electioneering ended with the NPP being declared winner of a poll, according to the Electoral Commission. The opposition NDC says it will resist the results as declared by the Electoral Commission. Supporters of the party then vented their anger on innocent media men who were simply doing their job.
Oh, stop it! Oh, Metro TV.
Journalists who showed up at the NDC party offices were physically and verbally assaulted, and those from some targeted media houses who are spotted by angry party supporters at their protests are harassed. A number of journalists from Media General, Metro Television, Joy News, UTV have all not been spared.
We apologize to all our distinguished friends from the media who have been insulted or assaulted in any way or form throughout this election process. We cherish our relationship with you and will continue to work hand in hand with you to make Ghana a better place.
Leadership of the NDC has served notice the protest will continue, even though 30 of their members were arrested for unlawful assembly and protesting without notifying the police.
From the word go, many of us knew the hidden agenda. Yes, the opposition leader talk about this and nobody, as if no strong people are in Ghana to complain when there is a complaint about Electoral Commission, the chairperson, nobody will talk. They should have thought that if you have treated the person this way, all the complaints, you never said anything. And he knows he has won. And the evidence is there. And you want to go and tell him to accept defeat. What type of God or what type of things do you serve?
But as to how far the party is willing to take its disputes over 2020 election results, it remains to be seen. And not even the many calls for the party to head to court by civil society, the religious and observer groups have so far been heeded. Only time would tell, and posterity would remember the good, the bad, and the ugly of a hugely contentious election in 2020 in extraordinary circumstances of a deadly COVID-19 pandemic. Komla Adom, TV3 News, Accra.
Ghana Jimuli, Ghana Jimuli.